Hi, and today's little video is I have here my Heljan O gauge class 47. Unfortunately it doesn't run very well because it appears that on one bogie, this end, the two gears that connect to the worm drive off the motor have split. It's a common fault with the earlier Heljan O gauge locos, and Hels is in the UK supply all the Heljan spares, and for not a lot of cost we can have replacement gears. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to strip this down to the bogies and how to change the gears to rectify the problem. I've not done it yet. This is the first one I've had to do, so it's a learning curve for you and me, and we'll work it out together. So enjoy. Right, first job is to take the body shell off the body, the underframe, and basically what we have here in this location here, there are 4 screws, obviously to this end and to the other end. So we'll whip those 4 screws out, and then we'll get to the innards. Unlike the double O gauge version, the body shell comes off nice and easy, as long as you can get the screws out. Easy as that. Okay, what we have now is the motor bogie and the control board. Now I've already opened this to have a look at the issue. So currently, to remove the bogie now, you have to remove the 2 plugs from the circuit board here, and again on the other bogie as well. Even though I've only got one bogie has broken, I'm going to change them all. It's common sense. And basically the plugs are red light, white light, rail and motor. So you need to connect the rail and the motor to release the bogies. Quite simple, they just pop out and job done. So now what we've got to do is remove the bogie. Okay, to remove the bogie is quite straightforward. The bogie side frames pop off, simple as that. And what we have here is, I don't know if you can see, but there's the bogie pivot. There's 2 screws, but to get to those 2 screws, what we have to do now is remove the bottom plate of the bogie, which is 4 screws, and that allows us just to pop out the centre axle and gain access straight in. So just pop out that one, and the 4 screws off the bottom of the bogie. And bottom plate, which has 3 supports to hold the axles in place, and you can now see access to all the gears. Now this happens to be this bogie with the split gears, but middle axle just drops out, easy peasy, and we now have clear access to the 4 screws that hold the bogie in. But this gear here and this gear here are the split ones, which is what the replacement is for. So they should hopefully drop straight in once we've got the bogie out. Again, 4 more screws. One, two, and that releases. It's the little retainer that holds the bogie pivot in. 3 and 4 screws. Hook that out. And the bogie should now pull out. And that's where we got to. 1 bogie. From this point on, I have not taken this apart, so from here is learning curve. So I'll just take the other bogie out and then we'll come back. Okay, so now the driving motor geared wheels here have just fallen out the bottom of the bogie frame, so there's now nothing to hold them in, and we can now see the gear train. And what we appear to have now is one electrical contact to one of the motor for the pickups, and on the other side as well, and then we have 1, 2, 3, again 4 more screws, which secures the motor in the clamp and the 2 halves together. Now the way I'm going to do it is with the motor on the top half, so that all the gears hopefully will stay settled in all their relevant little pockets when I split it. So let's try this next bit. Slightly greasy fingers now. That should be just 4 screws. 1. These were going another different size to the others. We had long thin ones for the body, and all the rest appear to have been so far the same, slightly shorter than this screw, so I'll keep these 4 separate. And come on out. Getting oily fingers, greasy. There we go. That's the 4th one out. So I'm not going to. So I'm now going to turn it so it's up that way and put it on the counter. And we'll see if we can ease this open without losing the gears out of all their relevant little locations. Come on out. This one lives in there. This one lives in there. Like that. Leaves the 2 gears here. We're now changing. Oh, it's a worry. That's little washers. Always the way. Right, so we have copper washers that need to go back onto the gear train. And there's some on this side as well. So there we go. There's 2 on, is it 2 or just a big fat one? There's 2 on there. Well, for some unknown reason, we'll check, let's have a look at the other one. The gears are packed out in varying amounts, it appears. So they're handy for only stripping out one at a time. One side they are all, so here we have it on the old one, which is a good reason for only doing one at a time. These three here are all flush. These have a little step up, then these are flush, and these are flush. Now this original one, it's got washers on this end one, no washers on the second one, no washers there, two washers, two washers, two washers, two washers, oh yeah, two washers. So pretty much everything has two washers except the two next to the motor. Can you see that? So that one doesn't, that one doesn't, but all the rest do. So we'll try and remember that, and we'll get all these. These are from here, 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 here. So at least that way we don't lose them and we can find them. Oh, sticking to my fingers. I think that's it. Let's compare that to that one. Two on there. Two, 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 three. Yep. So that appears to be now the same on as the original. Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll get two of the new gears and fit them. There's plenty of grease. Just a quick straight swap. Out they come. In with the new. Smear of grease on there off the old one. So it's nicely lubricated in there. Again on this one. A smear on the shaft. So when it goes in there. That should be it. So that's the two old gears split. Both split on this one bogie. So that's them gone. And now, no doubt, what is going to be fiddly and awkward is to try and get the bogie back together again. Now you have the pivot that goes through there, and the motor to fit in there, as well as, let's just get a smear of grease on there and put it on there. I've got plenty of grease all spread all over the place, so we should be able to get that all in there. The motor, mix it up and spread it about as the gears run and bed in. It should be good. Trouble is, it means my fingers are getting more and more slippery every time I touch something. Trapped wires behind bogie housing. And that appears to be that. Everything's in. Bogie pivot, the motor's in the clamp, no wires trapped. Or should they have been? Look, there we go, see? Always do one at a time because the wires are meant to go through the housing, not floating around. So I've got to try and feed them in. So the black wire, this side. Let's try. Oh. There we go. There we go. Can I get all the gears in? Come on, gears. See, always easy first time and then fight it every time after that. Yeah, come on, which one's... That's it. That's it. Motor pivot, got a gap. Okay, right, let's try and get the screws back in. Oh, everything's greasy, I'm slippery. The screws want to stick to everything except the bogie. The motor's pushed right in home. That screw does not want to be going inside the motor. There we go. So there we go. All the gears are in line. The motor is pushed fully home as far as it'll go. The wires are fed through the clamp is done up tight, and we'll just spin that a few cycles. That's it. Make sure there's no tight points. No, that's all rotating freely and greased. The gears have spread the grease around. Yeah, so no tight spot like we had previously. So what I'll do now is I'll repeat that with the second bogie. Okay, so that's the second bogie done, which ironically went together so much easier when I'm not having to lean around the camera or whatever, and cleaned a bit of the grease off my screwdriver and hands. But there we have two bogies with new drive gears. Both motors pushed home and spinning freely with no tight spots. and just all good. So these gears were slightly different design to the originals, but other than that the same. Now reassembly is quite simple. Just make sure you get the bearings located nicely in the housing, and the wheels just slot back in, and the pickups in their little grooves on the back of the wheel, and the bogey's ready for refitting, which is quite simple and straightforward. First thing first, slot the bogie in, the two retaining lugs with the little saddles, then slot the wheels back in, cover plate back on, bogie side frames to finish off, then turn over and plug in. Dead easy. Locate the bogie, motor through its hole, and don't need the wheels in quite this second, so we'll just drop them out because they're just in the way. Plastic saddle wing to hold the down. It's always where do I put my screwdriver? As is the norm, oh, there it is. As is the norm in any workshop, spend half your time looking for the tool you had in your hand just 2 minutes previously. Try and do this one-handed. Okay. Makes it easier once you've got a screw in. It doesn't flop around so much to make it easier on the other side. It's definitely much easier than the double O gauge version of getting the body shell apart. With their little plastic retaining clips, which are always very tight, and you're constantly trying to panic, trying not to split the body shell or anything like that. So that's 1, 2, 1 more screw, 1 more screw underneath. All 4 screws. There we go. So the bogie is now active back in the loco. Slot the wheels back in over the collector wires. One rolled off down the bench. So the bearings are in their little housings. The collector pickups are in their little bits. That's it. Bogie frames back on the side. The steps at the cab end. That's it. Bogies done. So I'll just repeat that with the second one. You won't need to watch me do it again, so I'll just back in a minute. Okay, so all that's left to do is to plug the rail connector and the motor connector. Having worked out that this is the rail, so that goes into this one. And this, therefore, is the motor. It disappears up under the flywheel. And so he goes into the motor. And it's that simple. So now everything is connected. Body shell back on. Just fit the 4 screws and then we'll get the test track out and we'll give it a run. Big fans are working. Now we're on DCC controller. It's loco number 10, so this is a DC loco running on the DCC. So that's partly why it's a bit noisy, but there we go, she's all working. Lights on both ends. Running smoothly. Unfortunately my little DC controller isn't man enough for this loco. It's quite a hefty thing with two motors in it. Just change direction. And the other way, nice and smooth. That's it. And as you can hear, home roof fans are definitely working.